there's the board wipe, that's rough. But we do get to get rid of the Yorion, and I'll put the counter onto Sea-Dasher Octopus. So today I will be playing a mono blue aggro deck. There are a lot of Fires of Invention decks in the queue right now, and quite a lot of mono red and Lurrus decks, so I wanted to build something that matches out well against those decks specifically. So what I did is I basically built a deck that is very similar to the old style mono blue control decks from the previous standard. I put in the Spectral Sailor, Brineborn Cutthroat, I put a couple of Gadwick, Stonecoil Serpents, and Sea-Dasher Octopus. And basically what you want to do in this deck is you want to play a cheap creature early on, and then just keep protecting it with a lot of different kinds of counter spells. Disdainful Stroke and Negate is very good against cycling decks because you will be able to counter the Zenith Flare, which is basically the win condition. Also, with the Brazen Borrowers in the deck, you can bounce the Fox if it gets a little bit too many counters on it. Then we have Gadwick. Gadwick is useful against mono blue decks because you can keep on tapping their creatures and attacking in so that they can never really get in any damage. Till's End counters Yorion, it counters Planeswalkers, it counters Amber Cleave, and it can even counter the activated ability if the opponent does have a looker on the field and they want to steal some of your stuff, you just counter that as well. We have Negates to get rid of the fairies, to get rid of Fires of Invention. I only put one Disdainful Stroke. I kind of want to play more copies of this card, but the issue is if you do match up against a Lurrus deck, then this kind of becomes a bad card in best of 1. So in a best of 3 environment, I would suggest to put at least 4 copies of this into the sideboard and maybe make this a sideboard card completely. All in all, this deck has a lot of good matchups. I won about, I guess, 13 out of 20 games, I think, so works really well. Has some issues going second against aggro decks, but other than that, you are good to go. Anyways, if you enjoy the footage, please consider subscribing, and I will probably be updating this deck a bit this week. And I'm also still working on the Ozolith deck, especially the Grixis one, and I'm also working on a mono green and a Golgari version of the Ozolith, but I haven't really figured out how to make those competitive yet. So I may just end up releasing the footage of those as more of a jank kind of deck that's not meant to be competitive but just playing for fun. Either way, hope you enjoy the footage and see you next time. Take care. Alright, let's have a look. Let's see, the opponent is not playing any companion. We do have a bunch of counter spells, so my guess is we might be facing mono red aggro right now. Guess I'll keep this because I do have a Gadwick at the end of the curve. No, it's mono red aggro. This one we need to counter, I suppose. I think I want to save the Quench in case they use Amber Cleave later on. We'll flash this in during their turn so that I can block the Fervent Champion. Ah, that changes the plan a bit. Well, this also can get rid of the Amber Cleave, so we'll do this. And we'll opt now. We'll gladly take another one of those. The opponent is quite behind. I guess I will play Gadwick now. The opponent is still stuck on one land. We'll draw us a card. That's bitter, that's okay, but now because we do have these two Sea-Dasher Octopi, we can start tapping his creatures during his turn. Tap the Fervent Champion. Has me think that he has a light up the stage. There we go. Another light up the stage. Seems that they have fixed their mana now, but have a decent amount of cards in hand. While they go to combat, I will flash in the Octopus so I can tap that Fervent Champion. Okay, we do not have a counter for that, so I will let that land first. Maybe I will even let them attack in so I can block the Fervent Champion. They do try to cast some sort of spell, then I can easily counter that with the Negate. Not let them have that one. Maybe I should have saved that, but fine for now. Draw 2. Another Octopus and more ways to block his creatures. I will counter that. Block the Robber of the Rich. And that's the game. Okay, so we have a way to draw cards, we have some creatures and a Negate. We're up against a Mori, so that's likely a creature-based deck. But opponent goes first, so guess I do need to mulligan it. Yeah, I need some answers. This is better. I guess I will get rid of the Negate because I don't think they will be using any regular spells. Perfect. Next time we can put up the Spectral Sailor and then we can essence capture whatever they play out. That's a Paradise Druid. Attacking again. We'll likely try to mutate the Druid and we can essence capture that. Go, essence capture, put the counter onto the Spectral Sailor. Maybe I should Brazen Borrower this now, but there is a chance that next turn they put a big mutate on it and attack, and then I can just Brazen Borrower both at once. So I will not do that for now. Okay, they didn't play anything. In that case, I think I want to go aggressive and play another Brazen Borrower. Alright, a Shore Shark. That's fine. Actually do me a favor by returning that. This will have hexproof in a second, so I will get rid of that right now. We still have another thing to bounce during that turn. Comes the Paradise Druid again. And another Paradise Druid. In that case we can opt. Mystical Dispute is great to counter that Shore Shark when he tries to play it next turn. Go, how much does this cost? 4, so he has 6 now. As long as he doesn't play some mana, we should be good. Because at this point I don't really care about the Yumori anymore, I just want to counter as much as possible. Gem Razor. Regular cost, that's fine, I can return that. Okay, then this will go back to the hand. And I will play one of these now. Quench is good. You have a chance of winning next turn, which is great. On decides to mutate that one. I guess I'm okay with that. I don't control any artifacts or enchantments, and I don't care about the damage either. Alright, play this. Fine, they can take one of those. See, I'm not gonna opt now. We just need to be careful that they don't play another Gem Razor now. But we have double. No. No, I don't want you to use that. I think that should be game. There we go. Up against Jazula Boom. The Lurrus deck, so the Disdainful Stroke is likely useless, but we do have a way to return a permanent and to start drawing with the Sea-Dasher Octopus. I will keep it anyways. Stonecoil Serpent into the Octopus is quite useful. I play this now. We may be able to trick him into blocking next turn, and then we will mutate Stonecoil Serpent. The cycling deck. Well, in that case, I will have to raise him. That's good because this can block the Zenith Flare. We'll have to make sure I keep this up once he reaches 4 mana. Okay, have any permanent, so without attacking now, play the Brineborn during his turn along with the Spectral Sailor. Luckily I didn't keep a very counter heavy hand, otherwise I would be a little bit screwed right now. Don't care about the Flourishing Fox for now because I will be bouncing it back to the hand anyways. I play that now with the Spectral Sailor. I might even give him the option to block, to be honest. But I don't want to lose my Sea-Dasher Octopus, so send this thing back to the hand. He can Zenith Flare one of my creatures now, but that's fine. Okay, another fox. I will play this out now so I don't need to keep on resolving and anything to counter anyways. Okay, just attack, and then if he wants to block, it's fine. Well, he kind of has to block. And next turn he will likely try to Zenith Flare or something to gain back some health. And now we just counter anything he plays. If he plays the Lurrus, I will let him resolve that because I can just attack him with the Spectral Sailors. Go, Disdainful Stroke. And that's the game. I'll get up against an opponent with no name. Have a look, they have a Lurrus. We can't really use the negates, I guess. Need to mulligan this. This is better. Essence Capture is great against them. Suppose I will get rid of island for now. Play the Spectral Sailor during their turn. It seems they are playing the enchantment version of the deck. Yeah. Should I count if they play a creature, but made it easy for us by not playing anything. They will likely be playing a creature this turn. Maybe the flying one that reduces the cost of enchantments. Okay, they're still not playing anything. In that case, I will play another Brineborn Cutthroat, and that's the game. Up against Misha. A Yorion deck, so let's see, we have these two to get rid of the Yorion. We do not have a way to interact with the Fires of Invention, but there is a chance to draw into it, so I will keep it for now. Next time we can Brineborn Cutthroat and hope that they do not stomp it. Okay, that has me think that they do have a stomp, but maybe it's just a altar. The thing that draws some cards, the 2-mana one, the Tassas. Ah, there it is. Omen of the Sea. I think I value the card draw more than the extra counter right now, because we do need something to get rid of the Fires of Invention during his turn soon. There's a chance that he will deafening Clarion us, but okay, and Boreal Grazer. Out of stomp range, that's good. Maybe he plays some kind of mutate version of Yorion. I have no idea why he's playing a Boreal Grazer. Ah, that's the board wipe, that's rough. But we do get to get rid of the Yorion, and I'll put the counter onto Sea-Dasher Octopus. Kind of want to play out Gadwick now, but maybe a bad idea to overextend, so I will just pass the turn and we can draw a card with the Spectral Sailor in the worst case. Counter that. He may be taking for a board wipe, so I think I should counter this one. He may still have to board wipe, but let's just take that chance. And red can heal him twice, I think. Okay. This. Good thing is that no matter what he plays now, I could have won. I should have kept this. I could have played Gadwick and then tapped this, but oh well, I already played it. Let's just go with it. Heal 5. Okay. Let's see what he plays. Another Omen, I don't care about that. Digging for a board wipe. And we won the game. Oh well, I guess that's it for today then. Thank you all for watching and see you next time.